Hello. My name is Christine. I'm 24 years old. For the last 3 months of my life, since March 14th, I've been in the ICU trying to take care of my dad. My dad, his name was Craig. He was 65 years old. He had a couple disabilities. But he worked hard to manage them, and I did my best these last 3, almost 4 years to take care of him, and I loved him very much. My dad went into the hospital for hip surgery on March 14th, and he had lots of clearances. I was really on top of his care. It was supposed to be an ordinary procedure, and unfortunately, somehow he ended up on life support. Dad, oh, sorry.
Yeah, what year is this? So, okay, hold on. Spit on the towel for me. That's okay. It is the year of 2019, okay?
Ask him what's my name. His baby knows.
Who take care of you at home? What is your oldest daughter name? Chris.
Raise your hand. Okay. Can you show me 2 fingers? Just 2. Show me 2. Good job. Can you move your leg? No, move your leg. Okay. Can you try to sit up for a second? Okay. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Are you at home right now?
He started to recover and seem good, and I was there with him every day in the hospital.
You're so strong. You're very strong. Super strong. Oh, legs moving good. Good. Oh, up. Up. Dad, if you can hear me, shake your head. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it.
We love you. I love you, Craig.
You did it.
I slept there for weeks and all that, and I really believed in my heart he was coming home, and I kept promising him, we'll go home together soon. And Tangerine, that's our cat, is waiting for us at home. I kept telling him. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. A lot of things went wrong in the hospital. Things that I know could have been prevented and better managed. The day after he passed away, I got a call from a distant relative saying that once the lease on our place is up, it's up. And they've already been talking about throwing away most of my dad's stuff, and this is a person who I've never lived with. I've never even... I mean, when I was in foster care in the group homes and the shelters, they never sent me a call, a text, or a visit. And they were pretty cruel to my dad through emails and stuff that I have and that I found. They did support us for a while, but now that my dad's gone, I know that they're not going to really care for me. It's just the way it is, you know? And it's okay. My dad collected a lot of stuff that was historical from World War I and the Korean War, and I know it has a lot of value and most importantly sentimental value, and he wouldn't want all of it just to be tossed out. So I'm trying to protect what legacy he left behind. He had PhDs, he talked on the radio for 9 years, he was a professor, and unfortunately, fighting for me and my siblings that ended up in foster care in the Department of Children and Family Services really left him in debt. And then his health problems came around, and yeah. My dad suffered a lot fighting for us when we were in the system. He went into a lot of debt, and it messed up his life. And then the really bad health problems came, like having to get on dialysis. He did have a lot of problems, but he dealt with them really well. He was 3 years on dialysis. I managed all his appointments and his transportation. I never learned how to drive. I never had anyone to teach me or help me get a car. But I did work. I used to be an intern at the shelter, and I did have a waitressing job. And my caregiver job for him was official. For my dad. I joined an agency, and that money helped us along. When my dad passed away, that was the end of my caregiver job. I was his caregiver for the last 3 years. And before that, I lived in a homeless shelter in Los Angeles. I went there to have a clean start, make something out of myself, and help myself. But unfortunately, their age limit is 24, and I'm about to be 25, so that's the thing. My birthday is on July 1st, and I reached out to that former homeless shelter and the other one, known as the gay and lesbian one. But they're full. They called me back, and their waiting list is really long. And I guess that brings me to the point of, not up to the point, but another point I should talk about. I'm a transgender woman. Some of you may be shocked by that, but I promise I've never had any kind of surgeries or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, a girl like me is not one of the Kardashians. I don't have all the luxury or whatever in the world to do all that kind of stuff, but this is my old membership card to the Gay and Lesbian Center, LGBT community. I've contacted a lot of places and networks, publications, LGBT, community and support organizations, and I haven't really heard back. There was a reporter I met at the hospital who's been very kind to me, supportive, and trying her best to keep me going. Her name's Elizabeth Espinosa. She is on iHeartRadio and was a KTLA reporter. She interviewed me for Father's Day on the radio station KFI AM 640, and I got to tell some of my story and put my GoFundMe out there. I started a GoFundMe because once my lease is up in September 30th, I'm afraid of being homeless with nowhere to turn to and having my dad's stuff thrown away. I did my best to keep my dad alive and well. It was like 10 pills a day, 3 blood pressure checks, 3 blood sugar checks, keeping track of nephrologist appointment, endocrinologist, his cardiologist, neurologist, podiatrist for foot care related to diabetes, going to the pharmacy, and everything else going on. I would do it for 100 million years. I would give up the rest of my life if he could be back and I could keep doing it. Because that's what I was supposed to do, That was my purpose. And now I don't really have one. And I don't have him. He was the only person in this world who really knew me. And he accepted me, even though I was trans and so on and so forth, and all the messed up stuff in the system, in the foster care system. I mean, he never stopped fighting for me, so I'm trying to survive and fight for him, to tell his story about what we both endured. Because it still matters, and even if I send 100 emails and no one gets back to me, one person thought my story was worth being told, and I want to keep telling it, and I'm doing my best not to fall apart and end up on the street with nothing, and I want to live and be okay. And with some help and understanding, I think that I could. I know people out there are like me. We just deal with a lot of stuff and keep it inside. And it just kind of rots there. It really does. All the pain and disappointment and loss that you can't fix. And we just hope deep down it doesn't get any worse. You could be plus sized, you could be trans, you could be abused in your past, and the world doesn't seem to let up on laying those things down on you. But maybe I just want to make it stop, and any help or support or resources or connections that I can get, that anyone out there would be willing to give. And I know it's Pride Month, and I've never really had connections to the LGBT community because I was in the system, then I was taking care of my dad, and I was homeless, and now I'm here with only a couple weeks left before everything gets really bad. Anyone out there who would want to hear more of my story or could support me in any way possible, I'd be forever grateful. And I got a whole lot of proof and more about what I'm saying and my history and everything from the medical malpractice in the hospital to me being trans and me being in the foster care system and homeless. Like, these are all important things that needs to be talked about, because there's a lot of people like me, and maybe it could be fixed if I voice some of that, and maybe I could be saved and more could be saved. My GoFundMe is www.gofundme.com/Craig and Chris. That's /CRAIGANDCHRIS. Craig was my father's name, and most people just call me Chris. So, yeah. And on my GoFundMe page is a whole lot of pictures of my evidence, documents, pictures of places and things. and my life story much better explained than I could probably do even in a 2-hour video. And the link to my interview on the radio, on iHeartRadio, is there too. Any support is greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, and I'm even hoping if I make enough, I can give back to the old homeless shelter I used to stay at, and maybe even more, like LGBT youth organizations and charities and things. That would be a great gift to honor my father and just put some positivity out in the universe after all this negativity that's come my way.